back to life, back to reality. And the reality is we are seeing changes in our society that don't have to be. Welcome to the Lee Perkois Show. It's unity in the community, and this is my passion. This is what it's all about. This is why 97.5 KDEE continues to be on the air. We are Sacramento's #1 community radio station. And first shout out goes to the California Black Chamber of Commerce Foundation, because they are the ones who own the radio station. They're the ones who gives us the green light to play the music that you love, the R&B, the real grooves, the old school, the classic soul, and everything else in between, the neo soul. Oh, we got it going on. And when it comes to unity in the community, it's so important that we have a voice. And speaking of a voice, we've got Barry Accius in the studio. Barry, how you doing, man? I want to make sure I got you on the right microphone.
No doubt.
And you good to go.
All right. OG,
Well,
how you?
Man, I am doing fantastic. I got to say it just feels good when I'm around you, because you have so much magnetism, so much charisma, so much that the voice of the youth is an organization that you are a part of, organization that you created.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And for you folks that are listening, go to Facebook and check out Voice of Our Youth.
Yeah, Voice of the Youth.
Voy. The voice
Team
of
Voy.
the youth.
Shouts out to all the Team Voy
And
soldiers.
I got to tell you, the way I met this man was that several years ago, not 3-4 years ago,
Yeah.
at the youth male conference that we would have every year. In fact, just had one this past weekend. But it had a more intense vibe back then.
Indeed.
And I know they asked me to come in, and I didn't know what they wanted me to do. I said, okay, they just want me to be a role model, come in, dress halfway, looking cool.
Oh, you was fly.
And you know, you talk to the kids. Hello, ladies, or it was just a male.
Yes, sir.
Hello, young men. Thank you for coming out to the Youth Male Conference. My name's Lee Perkins, and I was at that other radio station, and thank you so much. And you can be you. I did the Jesse Jackson, I am somebody. Tell somebody I am. And then they introduce you, and you come in. You're a king!
Man.
And I was all laid back and passive and easygoing, and you come in, and you woke them up.
Man.
You come real.
I appreciate you letting me do that.
No, I didn't let you do that. You do that on your own, because the way that you came in, I'm like, he captured their attention to let you know I'm not playing.
Nah.
This is no joke.
It's not a game.
Because let's talk about Barry Accius, where you come from. Because you've been in the rap game.
Oh, yes.
You've been a hustler.
Oh, man.
You know the streets.
Indeed.
And when I tell people about the streets, sometimes they're like, I'm like, okay, come on now. San Francisco, baby, Hunters Point, Oaktown, come on. We'll do Broadway, MacArthur all day long.
Yes,
the streets. And when we talk here in Sacramento, the streets, whatever's going on in the streets of Del Paso Heights, Oak Park, Meadowview, however it may go. But you are from it, so it's easier for you to talk about it.
Yes, dude.
And I want you to tell people, Barry Accius, who are you?
Man, I'm a survivor. First of all, I'd like to say respect to all the kings and queens that are listening, to all the people that have supported me up until this time. It's been a long journey. For those who understood and followed the journey, the vision, the mission, and allow me to be me, unapologetically. You know what I mean? So in the same sense, I'm from the struggle. I'm not any better than anybody else. I just was put on this earth for a mission. And I think that even in the times when I was out there doing things that I probably wasn't supposed to do, like this mission was always here for me. Because to be honest with you, when I was out there, doing my thing, I would always, it was kind of like I was in and out, right? Right. 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
So in the streets, as we call it, I had to get square. I got square. I'll get a job. Mm-hmm. My father was definitely a good role model in the sense that he showed examples of how to be a man, get up to work, all the time, because we moved from New York to the Bay Area.
Okay.
And then then we moved to Marin County, and my father would drive. At first, he would be taking a bus all the way to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Every day in the morning, like 5:30 in the morning.
The projects of Marin?
No. We was, as soon as my dad saw what was going on in New York.
Yeah.
But when the crack 80s hit,
Right.
it's time for us to get up out of there,
Gotta go.
Then we went to Fillmore in San Francisco,
Right.
saw it going down over there. Oh, in the heart of the city.
That's right.
Got out of there, and then we snapped into San Rafael, the canal area.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Because when you mentioned Marin, I remember Tupac had that
Had
Marin life for a while.
Marin City.
And in Marin City,
I remember watching Tupac rap in the mall when he was a nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of street level.
Yeah. So
he was right there.
But at the end of the day, here's the thing that people don't understand: when the crack '80s hit, it hit everywhere.
Yeah.
So there was more drugs and alcohol and sex in where I was living when I was growing up as a teen than I could even imagine. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't even think these things was happening, but it was happening. It's like the county's really small little secret that they never want to tell anybody, you know? But I got caught up in the lifestyle because I saw my friends do it.
Of course.
I didn't have that relationship with my father because it was always like pit bulls going against each other.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And my mom wasn't there. My mom was sick. But my father took care of my mother.
Okay.
So I just kind of got caught up in the hype, caught up in the rap
You saw a strong
show.
father figure.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't recognize because you.
Well, the thing about it, my parents are immigrants. So when I came, my parents are from Haiti. Understand that?
Okay.
So when I came down to America, as they would say, you know, you dealing with African Americans who look at me and say I'm not black, and then you got the white people that you already know what they're gonna say.
Right.
So I'm over here in an island by myself.
Man.
So
Literally.
I have to yell, oh man.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of change myself, and I created a persona by the name of Smooth B.
Uh-huh.
Oh man,
Smooth B.
Oh yeah, Smooth B.
You a smooth.
You know what I'm saying? And that worked for me, man.
Yeah.
But the reason why I created Voice of the Youth is because I remember those troubled times that I was in.
But when you were smooth, you were smooth. You were smoother than a pond with no.
You know what? I thought I was smooth. I thought I was smooth. But at the same time, this was what I chose to do. And thank goodness that whatever smoothness I thought I was, I never went to jail. For all the dirt that I did, I never went to jail. I took plenty of losses, but I never went to jail.
I always say, you know, sometimes you look at some criminals and sometimes they just victim of circumstance, wrong place, wrong time. Then there are stupid criminals. They just don't know no better.
Just so
I mean, if you want to, and I don't condone committing a crime, but if you commit a crime and get away with it, you're a smart criminal.
Yes, sir.
Because that's what white collar crime is all about.
Yeah.
We see the white collar crime; they can walk away with millions and billions.
Crime's going on right
Bernie
now.
Madoffs and they can take you in and out. But you don't have that's not on the level of the street level, getting caught with a couple of crumbs of a crack in your hand, or meth or whatever it is that they're running out there
and
in
then,
the streets.
And at the times when I was hustling, the most of the stuff that I was hustling was marijuana.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's funny when I see all the stuff happening, it's legalizing, and people are opening up marijuana shops, and I was thinking like, man, I was risking my life for pounds.
Right.
If I had got caught, I'd probably be just now coming out.
Yeah.
Because that's how much at a particular time when I moved up, I was moving.
And there's parts of the country, once they go in for a little bit of this, a little bit of that, they're going to throw the book away.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's different laws in different states. But the reason why I wanted, again, have you here today, we've got Barry Accius from Voice of the Youth on our Sacramento #1 community radio station, because we talk so much about our youth that have just fallen by the wayside, and a lot of it is not pointing fingers at them, but pointing fingers at society that have allowed them to become what they've become. Because I talked a moment earlier when we were off microphone, talking about the self-esteem of our young men.
Huge.
And the self-esteem, even when we talk about, and it's over, you get tired of conversations, whether you're at work, whether water cooler, whether you're at the community center, the barbershop, and it's like, pull your pants up, pull your pants up. And I recognize, because I've always said, give them the love, let them sag if they want to, but hear me out.
Yes, sir.
Let them sag if they want to, because it was no different than when the Beatles came. They looked at the Beatles as having long hair.
Yes, sir.
And that hair wasn't barely over their earlobes.
And they were outlaws back then.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it is today. It's a statement.
Yes, sir.
But the statement that the kids are saying today is, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care how I look. I don't care what Big Mama, what Grandmama got to say, because my pants are so low and my underwear is high, and sure, I may have on some fly underwear, and I want to show them, but in the day,
Got those polo underwears.
yeah. But when it all boils down to it, those that can't even afford those underwear,
Yes, sir.
they have created a link for those that just don't know no better. So now it just becomes the hype just to be sagging.
Yes, sir.
So let's get back to the originality of the sagging, to whereas I don't care. And that's the problem. We've got to bring back the self-esteem to our youth,
Yes, sir.
and show them that we care. Because my dad always said, if you look good, you feel good.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't care if you got a cold. Get up, comb your hair. Get up, put your clothes on, because you're going to feel better.
But you have to understand something, OG Lee. King, these kids think and believe they feel good. And I will also go a step further. When you have adults, because I got plenty of adults in my era, right, that are older than me, just the same age as me, a little bit younger,
Right.
that they still acting as if we were 16 and 17.
Now that's true.
So the transitioning,
That's true.
when you have to come from a man from a boy to a man, you don't have that. You know, the rites of passage, that's not going down. Like, even when I was coming up back in the day, I respected my G, right? I respected, it was OGs, I respected.
Right.
Didn't care how they was or what I thought of them in particularly, but I respected it. There was a line of respect. When you have these young people that don't see any person they can respect or anyone they can look up to, I mean, everything is the same. You got Jordans, I got Jordans. You got a smartphone, I got a smartphone. You think that you the same equal as me. And then some people in society will try to make it seem like our young people are as equal as us adults. Right. And it's not true. And so when you try to have these kids who have really been ridiculed, they've been subject to so much trauma, right? The peer pressure of their other friends brings them and creates, like I said, I created this persona, Smooth B. It helps them create a persona. Right. So a lot of these kids are just creating this persona, like as you said, to build self-esteem.
And it's that peer pressure,
as
you mentioned earlier, because if Ray is doing like this,
definitely.
if Ray wants to go get the 63 Buick and throw the 24s on it, and I'm going to sag, and I'm not even thinking about getting a job, because as long as I get my hustle on, and I'm cool in my neighborhood.
If everyone around you is doing that and you aren't, you're going to get ridiculed and you're going to look like the fool. And nobody wants to look like the fool. Everybody wants to be in the in crowd.
That's right. I remember one of Michael Jackson's earlier videos in Bad, where he is the kid who's going off to the private school. Wesley Snipes in it with the gazelles on.
That was a dope video.
And yes, it was. And basically the whole premise of it was, here's a kid that's in the hood, but he has to get on the subway and then the bus to go to the private school miles and miles and miles away. But then when he comes back, he gets teased, he gets taunted, he gets bullied by the kids of the neighborhood. And that's what ends up happening if you don't follow suit with the rest of the kids in the neighborhood.
Well, here's the thing. When I was coming up again, I was so amused, and I thought it was crazy that my friends would always gravitate to my father. I was like, "What, y'all, dude? He's just a dad, right?"
Right.
And they would always be respectful, and dad come through, "Hey, Mr. Accius," and all that. Yeah. And I would always think like, "Dang, why do you guys get to stay up at till 12, 1, 2, girls come to the crib, all of the whole thing, right?
Right.
And I'd have to rush back at home by 10, 11 o'clock, right? If I'm lucky.
Right.
When I find out and look at it overall, when I look and evaluate my life, because I think evaluation and reflection is an important thing as you move.
Yeah.
I saw what they didn't have. You know what they didn't have?
What's that?
They didn't have a father in the household.
Yeah.
So they're being raised by their mom. Right. So this is the reason why they were so loose. And because I just thought it was my father just being a jerk,
right,
and my friends were cool, and this is what we're going to do, I just started to, be defiant, and I led into a way of where the peer pressure came in with my friends, but not knowing what they wanted was my life and I wanted their life, because they had no structure. My father created a structure, but the good thing about with my father is that foundation was always set. Even though we didn't see eye to eye, I saw foundation. And what a lot of these kids are lacking right now, parents aren't setting up the foundation because they don't have foundation.
I always talk about the borders and boundaries.
Yes, sir.
Parents don't make enough borders and boundaries.
Man.
There was a time, and I again, this is old school. It's easy to call a brother OG, because when it comes to get up and make your bed every morning.
Yes, sir. You
get up and make your bed every morning.
Indeed.
You clean your room every day.
Indeed.
And you come in, you do your homework after school. You come in, take off your school clothes.
Yeah, there you go. Remember those?
Then do your homework. And there's no going outside.
Those shoes up.
That's right. Until you are completely finished.
Done.
And even when you're done, you still might be able to have to do some dishes, do some chores.
And you're not always going to go outside as well.
That's right. And I always like, Mom, why don't you have a girl so she can do the dishes?
Yeah.
A boy ain't supposed to do it. Mom was like, hey, listen, I'm trying to show you something to prepare you for the rest of your life. And that's one thing that begins to lack, because we don't stay on them.
No.
We give them the breaks. We give them the easiness. And then that's what makes them become self-entitled. Because I've heard all too often that our youth become self-entitled because they feel like, you owe me.
Well, not only self-entitled, they get too sensitive. Understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that?
When I say sensitive, it's like you can't tell them anything. If I'm just correcting you and it's a certain tone.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you want to fight me, your lips down,
Yeah.
you're angry, you're mad at the world, you want to shoot me, you want to, it's all these different things. And I think that it's unfortunate, but I always tell the kids, because I just got done doing a group, shouts out to Rob Brown and Another Look Beauty Salon, because we do this project called the MOB. This is one of our male groups that we set it in the barbershop, right?
Okay.
MOB. And I
Perfect
have,
setting.
oh man, it's so beautiful. Therapy for real. And I have ages 13 all the way to 60, because I get the mixture. You know what I'm saying? We have the whole, just the whole range.
Right.
And when I come at those kids and I'm charged, I let them know everything I'm doing is out of love.
Right.
There's no hate. There's no animosity.
That's right.
But I know in this life that if you don't make the right decisions, some of y'all are not going to end up like, okay, me, who I can create and say this story, but the struggles that I went through, I don't want to see you go through that, because some of y'all ain't going to make it, right? Yeah. So I really believe that when you look at it, it's the entitlement. These young people become too sensitive. They don't want to hear direction or correction.
Right.
And then we as parents are not allowing that village movement, right? We're not allowing other people to drop seeds. And shouts out to all the parents that allow their young people, their males and their females, to continue to come to programming that I have, because I do it just for them, because we need to have a balance beam. If there was one particular point in my life where I could have had one of those young G's or one of those older guys who looked at my talent or looked at me and say, B, you don't need to be doing this, dude. Right. Be you. Be yourself. This is not who you are. Oh, you're good at it, but this ain't you. My whole life would have been a lot different. I think I would have probably been at this point in my life a lot sooner than I am. Yeah. But the course is the course. But we have to get back to where we are a village, creating and helping each other and building a nation.
I'm going to tell you where that village used to come from in my neighborhood. If my mom didn't get down on me, if my dad didn't get down on me, Sister Celestin, Sister Yarbrough, Sister Cartwright. I remember once I ran from Sister Cartwright. Sister Cartwright outran me, caught me, and gave me a real, and I deserved it. I deserved it, because I had no reason to be running from what I did. I was supposed to come in, sit. She was babysitting us, and I'm like, you ain't gonna, come on now, you ain't gonna babysit me. I'm me. I'm me. I'm gonna go do mine. After that little spanking, I found out what me was all about.
Exactly.
We've opened up the can. We've opened up the can of worms. We have expressed quite a bit. When we come back after the break, we're going to come back with some answers and what you are telling the parents as solutions that they can take with them, and they can digest it and learn how to come another way.
Indeed.
Okay? We're going to do that coming up in just moments. It's Barry Accius, voice of our youth, on 97.5, Sacramento's #1 community radio station. And right now, it's Unity in the Community at 97.5 KDEE. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. We've got on Barry Accius, the voice of our youth, and the name of the organization is Voice of Our Youth. And I just love the fact that this man is so knowledgeable. He's hands-on. He works with the kids in our community, and it's all about the positivity.
Most definitely.
And when he comes to you and says, "You my king," because we come from kings and queens, which means we are descendants directly, which makes you a king, which makes her a queen, and I just love how you continue to project that. Now, a lot of folks when they hear about what we're going to do community-wise. I mean, sure, Black Lives Matter got their thing. Chris Rock the other night, he kind of, put the spotlight on what was going on.
I don't know about
then
that.
Then Val Dosta in Georgia, the kids got kicked out of a Donald Trump event.
Well, shouts out to the kids in UC Davis with the Black Under Attack.
Yes.
One of my daughters is out there doing her thing.
Yeah.
Johnson, shouts out.
And I mean, only years ago at UC Davis, you had a diverse crowd getting sprayed, just getting sprayed down.
Yes, sir.
And so we know what goes on. But I wanted to put the spotlight on something that touches me stronger and more closely in the most, I don't know, heartfelt manner, because sometimes it seems our kids have given up. Barry Accius here, voice of our youth. When we talk about respect, when we talk about honor, when we talk about dignity,
yes, sir,
they don't know these words.
Nah.
And they're not.
Well, I mean, there's a new definition of those words for them. Understand what I'm saying?
To help me understand.
I think that what they feel is honor and respect is materialistic things. You know, they don't look at it as honor and respect as taking care of your business, you know, doing what needs to be done in the right way, you know, being honorable to your mom, your dad, your family, your community. They look at it like what you got.
Right.
Honor and respect is money, power, because this is what they've been told. This is a new narrative.
Right.
You know, when you have a media that is controlling the minds of our youngsters and the social media that is brainwashing our youngsters to be like, this is what you have to do, right? Even when you think about it back in our days when we watched those commercials, those commercials were so hypnotizing. Like, I really believed like I was going to go get a burger like that from Burger King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you know, I come from commercial radio, commercial media, so I know
it sells
because it is a scientific approach. It is a scientific game. It's a subliminal art of persuasion. I'm persuading you to buy this product. I don't care, and I'm not going to name the products because I don't want to give nobody any unnecessary
we want you to keep your
but that's exactly what it is. And your social media, they're doing just that. And we don't even realize how it's taken. But before we went into the break, we talked about solutions for our parents, solutions for our aunts and uncles, and ours, and those who's looking out for one another. Because I was in a mini mart the other day, and I mean, brother man had his pants down to his knees. Yeah. It was down to the knees. And I wanted to say something. Sagging, huh? It drives me nuts. It really is driving me nuts. Only, and again.
Because you a fly dude, and I'm happy that you back like on your full flyness, man.
Well,
I understand.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
But mine is the reason why I it's such a spotlight for me, because I come from the era of the big fro.
Oh, man.
And see, once upon a time in the high school I went to, your hair couldn't be so long. So they didn't understand that. So the white dudes, their hair couldn't touch their shoulder. The afros couldn't go below your earlobe. Yeah. So mine was just flat out, blowed out, down to the shoulder. And then when they say, well, you got to go home, I go into the gym and wash it. They watch it shrink. And then they didn't know what to do. Go back home and blow it back out again, and I'm all good. But that's why, because it was a statement. So I sympathize with them. That's why it's heartfelt, because I sympathize with them. I know they look to make a statement. Some don't even know it's a statement. But many know, I don't care what you say. I'm going to dress how I want to dress. But I just want them to know. And again, you can hear the passion in my voice.
Oh, yeah.
I just want them to know you can do better. You can do better, because too many people have lost blood, sweat, and tears in order for you to be able to walk down the street in any way.
But in the key thing about it, Lee, yes, they can do better, but society can do better.
Well, this is true.
And then at the same time, you got to remember, the reason why, again, I created Voice of the Youth was because I was tired of people telling me how to work with my kids.
Right.
You know, especially our African-American kids, because Voice of the Youth is a program for all cultures.
Thank you.
But our focus, you know, of course, is primarily black youth, right?
Yeah.
But when people are telling me, and even the black people are telling me how I'm supposed to deal with a black male, or how I'm supposed to deal with a young woman, and I have a 19-year-old daughter. Shouts out to my daughter. She's going to Sac State. And I have other kids that I've adopted, appreciate that I adopted that are going to Long Beach State, San Diego State, Hampton, UC Davis. So when I listen to people tell me and they misguide, and then when we look at our public school system, a.k.a. the school system, that when we talk about their history, Lee Perkins, OG, what history do they know? The history they know was just current. You understand what I'm saying? They know what is now. They don't even get to understand that we were royalty. They don't get to understand the reasons why we came here to be enslaved. Understand what I mean? We didn't just drop off here because we was running around here like jungle monkeys. We got here because they knew how powerful we were. We had the things of the oil. We had the salt. We had the gold. We had all those different things. We had the architects. You know what I'm saying? We had the doctors. We built the pyramids. Understand me? So when these youth don't know that, how can they respect something that they don't know? And the media puts this, here's what you should respect. Here's Lil Wayne, and here's all these other goofballs that's running around here. And I say that respectfully because at a time, we all have to emerge and be who we are as grown folks. When I see these, as I call them, silly Negroes, and people don't like that, but that's my hashtag. I say silly Negroes.
Your hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag that. Yeah, everyone, I did make that up. But when you see them still acting like buffoons, what do you expect our kids to hear and listen when the media shows us every day, black man, be an athlete. Black woman, well, show some breasts, show some booty, and go out there and get your money. These are the only ways for you to make some money, to be a superstar. And when you see all that attention on negativity, what do you think those kids are going to go do? They want to get the attention and be negative, right? So I can't really knock them. I understand, but you have to also remember that, again, we all have to take responsibility for what is going on, especially to our African-American kids.
Well, what we have to do is we got to put the glitter and the hype on the nurse, the doctor,
make it look cool,
the attorney,
yeah,
the fireman,
most definitely, the mentor, the whole thing.
Teacher,
yeah, depending on what teacher.
Exactly. But it does come back.
No, you have to bring the
being
cool
able
back
to put
and
the glitter
yes,
back upon those that make a difference in our lives daily.
And that's what I believe that so many people, a lot of the young people, they look up to me. I know that, and they gravitate to me because I am exactly who I am. You know what I mean? I mean, on air, off air, this is Barry Accius. This is me.
You. And that's why it's so important that you continue to be the voice.
Yes, sir.
Because the Voice of the Youth is an organization that is doing some very positive things. There's some events going on, and I'm going to get into that in just a few moments. We're going to be wrapping up.
But I also want to when we come back, I want to give some key components I think that parents need to have as well.
Well, let's do that now.
Okay. Well, I believe that you have to be involved all the time. Stay involved, get involved. And when I say that, you just don't get involved because that's just something you feel you need to do. Be happy about being involved. I was a cheer dad, right? Mm-hmm. What do I look like? Look at being the cheer dad. Yeah. You most dads, you hear they're the basketball dad or they're the baseball dad, football dad. I was a cheer dad. Right. Understand what I'm saying? Make sure you tap in to your friends and to your daughters or sons' friends. Figure out who the circle is. Be around them. Take them out. Just don't drop them off. Yeah. Check in. Surround them. And make sure that you're having those conversations with your kid. Go back to the dinner table. Go back to the dinner table.
That's right.
Turn off the TV.
That's right.
Put away the social media. And let's talk. Let's have conversation. Yeah. And I always think it's important that we have to teach our kids things like entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. Things like history. Let them understand. Break down what bills mean. We just got done doing the MOB, and brother, I'm trying to tell you, I sat there and I said, hey, how many of y'all think y'all can live off of $2,000 a month for the rest of your life? These kids are raising their hand, so I said, let's do the $2,000 fix. As soon as we did that, they said, man, I'm $200 in debt. Yeah. Because they don't understand and realize what it takes to be a parent at this time. So these are the kind of steps that you have to do, and make sure that you're not a parent that comes in when the principal calls. You go in before to check in with the school that your child is in.
Don't wait till the principal calls.
Yeah.
Be ahead of the game.
Exactly.
See, we're talking solutions.
And bring them to a mentor. Let them have a mentor. And I'm saying a real mentor.
Yeah. Again, not that if you don't have time, because you got to make time. But you think about, and this was something that I would say all the time when we were doing our live broadcast at the radio station. We every other week we'd go to a community center and focus on what that community center is doing, because a lot of our local community centers have programs and seminars and conferences that you may not even be aware of if you don't expose yourself to it. Because one reason why I stayed here in Sacramento is because Sacramento is on the move.
Yes, sir.
We've got a lot of people that's very passionate about our family, about our community, about one another. They're grassroots organizations. Sure, there's major organizations. Yeah. We talk about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and you talk about 80% of those kids. I mean, it's a huge national organization, but 80% of those kids are our kids that we definitely need to step up. When we talk about the foster kids situation, when we talk about 75% of those kids are our kids, it's something we need to step up. Mm-hmm. So I feel the direction that you go in, Barry, I've got to admit, it is always a pleasure, man. It's magic when you are hanging out, because you bring so much to the table, and there's so much energy, so much passion. I know we had a few phone calls, and at 921-5333, everyone has got to have some kind of voice, and everyone is a voice for our youth, because again, the youth is our future, and the youth that are here today, we cannot let them fall by the wayside. Let's talk about some of the events you have coming up. I know you've got fundraisers. What do you need fundraising for?
Oh, man. In order for our youth to do the great things that we have in our program, we just got done coming back from our 3rd annual college tour to Southern California,
Nice.
where we take young people from here
Yeah.
and then also pick up young people in Southern California, and we go through a 4-day college tour. We San Diego State, we go to their conference, Long Beach State,
Yeah.
UC San Diego, UCLA, and the great thing about it all those kids that were going to those schools, I have youth there that I've mentored.
Yeah.
So that's even powerful. So we need this money because we have to take our kids and do events with them. So we have a crab feed March 13th.
Did you
Crab
say
feed. Crab feed, brother. March 13th, man.
Crab, and this crab season,
It's $45.
There's going to be plenty of crab
Oh,
there.
it's all you can eat crab. Best crab feed in Sacramento,
Okay.
hands down.
Okay.
I make the best. I'm a chef as well. I make the best crab feed, and that's going to be at Wackford Center, 9014 Bruceville Road, and it's going to be a live performance.
What's the cross streets on that? Do you know offhand?
You know, brother, I don't
Okay.
really try to go to Los. I don't try to go to Elk Grove.
Come on, don't come on.
I'm no
Come
disrespect.
on. But-
And then as well, let me just give you 2 more events. We have the Healing Festival that we're throwing on March 5th. 2016, of course. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and that is at South Sacramento Christian, right? 710 Stockton Boulevard. And as well, we have a ladies event. My queens are doing their thing. Shouts out to all the queen of New. We have a ladies event, and let me give you the address. It's called the New Being Empowered Women, and that is March 6th. That is almost like what the MOB is. And let me find that information. Hold on.
Well, let me ask you while you're going through with all of that, the information that you're sharing with us, all of this.
It's all on my Facebook.
Thank you so much.
And this is in the workshop for the young queens. This is only for young females, 13 and up, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's called Sexing 101, the New Age Relationships, and that is on 2300 Longport, Elk Grove, and that is at Visual Perfections Beauty Salon. And that is my queens who's holding it down, putting it together. We decided to do an all-women's group like we do with the MOB, because we do the MOB, motivating other brothers, in the barbershop. And the queens said, hey, we need to do an all-girls event. I said, let's go ahead and do that.
Well, so we focus so much on the young men that we got to make
But
sure
I
that
also,
we take
but I
care of
also
the young
do,
women.
yes, exactly. But I also do a Real Team Talk 101 that I have all the youth together.
Yeah.
You know, I just do what I'm supposed to do. That's just
That's right. Well, you know what? It's a blessing to have you up in here today.
You know what, brother?
So strong.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm real with that.
I know.
It's
Thank
nothing. It's nothing else that I can say because you've said it all. Barry Accius,
March 13th.
BERRY. Give us your Facebook.
Okay, Barry Accius, BERRYACCIUS. That's my Facebook, and of course, Voice of the Youth is the fan page. And when you come to Barry Accius Facebook, don't be silly Negroing, don't be cooning. It's going to be some real. It's going to be some truth. It's unapologetic. And it's going to be live.
And then your fan page, Voice of the Youth.
Yeah, Voice of the Youth.
Everything that you want to know about this man and all of your associates. Give some quick shout outs real quick because I know it's not a one man show.
Man, it's going to be a whole bunch of people.
Well,
I don't want to sit there. Yeah, exactly. Everybody who's listening knows who they are, and everybody understands who've been with me from the day forth. All my young people, of course, all my kings and queens who hold it down solid that I talk to on an everyday basis, that I vent to, that I scream at, that I yell at. Shouts out to my camera guy. You know, thank God he's here because I'd have been cursing him out right now. But everybody, but all my comrades, because I have a lot of great partnerships that are going on right now in Sacramento. So all my comrades and the people that I'm going to be working with in the near future, and the people that want to work with me in the future, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it.
Number one community radio station. We put the spotlight on Barry Accius tonight.
March 13th, the Crab Feed, best Crab Feed, 3rd annual Crab Feed fundraiser, Voice of the Youth. Come get your crab, $45.
That's right. And it goes on what time to what time?
It goes on from 5 to 8 p.m.
Okay, you can count on it, brother. We'll be there. This one's for you, man. Everybody is a star. We taking you back down old school lane.
Yes, sir.
With Sly and the Family Stone.
Peace, King.
On
Peace,
97.5
Queen.
KDEE. Thank you, Barry.
Team Boy.